Hello folks, I've just spent 10 minutes meditating out the front of Starbucks, just sitting in a chair, closing my eyes. Been listening to Sam Harris and his Waking Up app, or the Waking Up course. There's two things on there. One, he has the daily meditations, guided meditations, and then he has little lessons where he talks about snippets of life in terms of mindfulness and awareness. I really highly recommend it. When I first got into meditation, I got into it via transcendental meditation, and I paid the money to seek out a meditation teacher in Wales, Helen Davis. Got really friendly with her, lovely woman. And for the longest time I meditated 20 minutes every morning and 20 minutes in the afternoon. I said my mantra and I did my thing. And meditation is one of those things where you don't really, it's really difficult to feel the benefits and observe the benefits, because it's not like if you're pumping iron in the gym or you're on a diet, then there are ways of measuring your success, aren't there, in terms of measuring your bicep width or weighing yourself. But with meditation, unless you're sticking electrodes on your brain and wiring yourself up to a very expensive piece of hospital equipment, it's difficult to see the signs of growth. And for that reason, it's probably one of the quickest forms of self-help that we drop when we think we're suffering or we don't have enough time. For me, my meditation practice tailed off when I had Zia in the last 2 years. It's not been great. I feel really guilty when I meditate, because in that 10 and 20 minutes that I meditate, and I could be taking some of the pressure off Liza. It's a conversation we've had about the need for us both to carve out that time for self-help. Meditation is certainly crucial for me. I mean, when I talk about metrics, my metric when it comes to meditation is Liza. And as much as she gets pissed off with me when my little child emerges and I get defensive and aggressive and angry, she would be the first to say that meditation has transformed me from the person I used to be to the person I am today. And I think the more and more I read Breaking Your Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza, the more and more I feel that meditation has got to be at the heart of the Truth About Alcohol philosophy. So grabbing these 10 minutes whenever you can, irrespective of, I'm right by the main road, you can hear it. I mean, it's irrelevant, right? But I want to talk to you about something that just happened when I was meditating. Through the guided meditation, Sam Harris said, focus on the next thought that comes into your mind. And the thought that came into my mind was the thought of creating this podcast. So then I try to focus on it. But then Sam says, where has it gone? Where did it come from? Where did it go? And then I realized as I try to focus on a thought that it's not there anymore. And I tried to focus on it even more. I tried to like recreate the thought. And of course you can to a certain degree, but the thought is not the same. It's different. It feels forced. So the thought that first came up, which I don't believe I deliberately manifested, I believe that it just came into being, and then disappears. I think this is really important, because when it comes to the reasons why we drink alcohol and why we believe there is value in drinking alcohol, there's about 7 to 10 core reasons why people drink alcohol. One of them is to silence these thoughts that come up in our mind, right? But here's the thing. Anybody who has used alcohol as a way to silence the thoughts knows that once they stop drinking alcohol, the thoughts return. And along with the thoughts comes the shame and guilt and any physical discomfort such as hangover, or any other external consequences that you're experiencing due to being drunk, comes back with like a thunderstorm, right? So we know really that although drinking alcohol in the moment might remove those thoughts, they're going to come back because we can't get rid of them, because we don't really control them. Okay? So the key then becomes, how do we find another way of removing unhelpful thoughts, or allowing us to experience the suffering of unhelpful thoughts, to learn that we can cope without drinking alcohol, using alcohol as that tool. And that's where the experience comes in that I've just had. Because if I've got an unhealthy thought that's entered my mind which says I am a useless human being, which normally would drive me to drink alcohol to drown it out, because I feel anxiety and stress at feeling like I'm a awful human being, then just by merely sitting down and meditating and focusing on the very thought that is driving that stress and anxiety, you will find that the thought doesn't exist. And the ability to re-engage with it or recreate it with the same power and passion that first drove you to want to drink is not there. And yes, when you stop meditating, those thoughts are going to come back, just like they will when you stop drinking. However, you don't have the shame and the guilt. You don't have the physical and the mental discomfort that alcohol use has with it as well. And over long term, when you're drinking the alcohol, you're just deteriorating mentally and physically in every aspect whilst trying to chase away these thoughts. But if you are meditating, then over time you are strengthening your mind, you are strengthening your body physically, you are becoming more mindful, and rather than running away from these thoughts or trying to drown them out, by the time you create the mental strength that meditation will create in your life, you will be able to start taking them on. You will certainly be able to sit with them, because you will experience that actually when these thoughts arise, once you focus on them, they disappear through a meditative state, and that is actually what you want them for. The more and more you meditate, and the more these things go away. And look, you don't have to do this 10 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day. You could do this several hours a day if you want, if that is important to you. Okay? So I just wanted to share that. The power of meditation and the power of just focusing on a thought and realizing that it vanishes once you pay attention to it. My name is Lee Davey. I am not an alcoholic. I refuse to be anonymous. I am someone that spends every waking moment helping other people do the same, and also spend 10 minutes here and there meditating and chasing away my thoughts. Take care.